Right, we are live. I apologize that we lost connection briefly, but we are back on. So I think Dr. Makeba had a great train of thought. She was talking about reviewing and knowing the history behind everything that is going on, from the reason why Martin Luther King died, the reason before that, the Jim Crow laws, the segregation, the slavery, right? Bottom line, it sounded like Dr. Makeba, you were saying, do your research and look back as to why we're doing what we're doing. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. The point that I was going to end with was, Dr. Martin Luther King passed away in 1968. Between the time of 2020, we've lost 52 years of possible progression. Why? Because nobody took over that lead, right? Nobody. It was like when Dr. Martin Luther King passed away, so did the mission, so did the initiatives, so did the passion, so did all of the stuff that he was fighting for. Like, no one picked up that mantle, no one picked up that torch to kind of move us forward. And so I kind of feel like we lost 52 years of possible progression. Can I be absolutely sure that we would have gotten, that everything that has happened over the last would not happen? I can't be absolutely sure about that, but it might have, right? Stayed on what we need on. It took, all of this to happen for us to, for attention to be on, for people to say, we got to take control of something because we can't keep letting this happen. I am grateful that we have people that are now alert, that are now awoke, or woke, like they like to say. I'm so excited for that. But I don't want us to lose any more time. We don't need to lose another 52 years. We don't need to let this die down. We need to really take control. And I think it starts with, like we said, education. I think it starts with action. I think it starts with strategic. I think it starts with leadership. The looting and everything happened. Rioting is great. Protesting is great, but rioting and protesting without active leadership, guidance, is chaos, right? And so we cannot continue to move throughout this whole process with chaotic formation. We have to, when we look at what happened years ago with Dr. King and his allies, that was leadership and formation. They were doing something for a reason. They weren't just out here just doing whatever, trying to get attention. Now, I'm not going to say that what has been done over the last week has not gotten attention. I do believe that what has been done has gotten attention. The peaceful protesting, the people using their voices, the leadership actually using their platforms and using their voices. But it's just unfortunate that it had to take something like this to happen. But again, it goes back to my prior, and that nothing happens. I do believe that unnecessary stuff has to happen and necessary change a priority.
Absolutely. This is great content, ladies. This is great conversation. I wish that I can keep on talking about this. Maybe we got to do a part 2 next week and bring you ladies back on and just continue the conversation, because I think it's very needed. And, I guess in final words to wrap up, any other thoughts that you might want to share, Veronica and Dr. Makeba or Amell, in regards to what we can be doing to make active change? Personally, I think investing in those communities. I saw, Veronica, you actually invested in some businesses that actually were looted. I know I saw you take that initiative, which I thought was very honorable, and I commend you for that, because I said, if at least maybe I can't be out there protesting because I have a 8-month-old baby and 2 little ones, right? But I can invest and I can donate, right? And I can use my platform to speak up for those that are oppressed, which I've seen police brutality firsthand. So I know, right? Like, I can say I'm also speaking up for my own people, right? So what would you advise, and both of you, what would you say as final words for the viewers?
I definitely would say, yes, certainly you want to invest back into those communities, the Black and Brown communities. those that were affected, whether it was through rioting, looting, and so forth. I know that I'm working with one particular business. A friend of mine connected me with her to potentially start a GoFundMe account if she didn't already have one. So I kind of just put it out there to see which small business owner was truly affected so that we could help financially, get them back up and running as quickly as possible. And just overall, as I mentioned before, you have to educate yourself. I've seen so many people commenting, I would say ignorantly, to what was happening across the country, and knowing that there's so much more behind the Black Lives Matter movement than what they were telling themselves, and believing. And I think a lot of them are what I call headline runners, where they simply take a headline, don't read the full content, and just run with it and start, speaking with their truth to what they believe the headline means, and it's bothersome to say the least. So, do your research before commenting, before speaking your truth. Truly know what you're saying, and that leads obviously through education. And this is me coming from a place where at one point in time I used to say, all lives matter. Why are they only saying Black Lives Matter? Because I was ignorantly speaking without truly having the education behind it as to what the movement really was. And so I'm speaking from experience of someone who at one point in time used to say, no, all lives matter. And it wasn't because I was saying it in a way to completely shut down the Black community. It was more so I just didn't know. But not knowing is a form of ignorance. There was all the resources out there. You have no business not knowing now. You have all resources in front of you to be able to do your research ahead of time before saying anything. So that's what I would say. Definitely giving back to your community and educate yourself.
Thank you, Veronica. Dr. Makeba?
I would just say, find your sweet spot, find your voice and use it. Like Jennifer said, everybody's not a protester. Everyone's not, agent in the traditional sense, not going to be all things, right? But I've said before, a revolutionary movement is not one-dimensional. A revolutionary movement is multiple. That means there's so many different places it can fit into to cause and evoke change. You got to do something, right? I'm that person who is really, I have when I start speaking, but I'm not one to just start speaking automatically, right? So I'm kind of doing the thing on the DL. But then, with all of this stuff coming to the light, I started to find my voice a little bit more. And I say, you know what? When you silence your voice, power, and we all have power. And so my advice is just find your voice, start using it, whether that's on social media and like Veronica, just be writing stuff, write stuff with intelligence, do your research, know what you're writing. Whatever your voice, whatever your stance, just be it. That's the only thing that I would say.
Thank you so much, ladies. This is a great conversation, and I would love to continue talking about this stuff, right? Because it's only going to inspire and motivate folks, right? The ICM, right? No, IMC, whatever I came up with that term, right? But, ladies, everyone that's watching, if you want to connect with Veronica, feel free. She is accessible via social media. Same thing with Dr. Makeba. I'm pretty confident, and me and Amell, we are available if you want to reach out. And of course, they are entrepreneurs themselves, so feel free to check them out. We want to make sure we give them, we highlight them. Veronica as a life insurance agent, and Dr. Makeba as like multiple bunch of serial entrepreneur. She got like 50 different things going on. I can't keep up with her sometimes, and that's me coming from me. All right, I'm just saying. But definitely check out these ladies. Thank you so much, ladies, for being on live with us.
Thank you for being on. No, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. So we are going to take a brief break, everyone, and we'll be right back to wrap up the show. And we're going to share the top 10, 15 Amell tips for
Top 10.
life hacks to handle or how to cope with the anxiety you might be experiencing right now. So definitely stay tuned, everybody.
Bye.
All right, we are back. We just had this amazing conversation with Dr. Makeba and with Veronica Cruz. This is an opportunity for you ladies to just, I see all these people chiming in. We'll try to get to as much questions or comments here on the live. I'm pointing here because that's where I can see everybody's comments. But right now, Amell is going to share some, life hacks with you when it comes to anxiety. So take it away, Amell.
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to just fairly quickly before I get into this, it's more about being mindful and keeping your mind and inner peace. But before I get to those tips, I did want to say, I wanted to point something out. I wasn't able to really discuss earlier because with the whole situation of the technology. But I just wanted to say, please make sure that you acknowledge yourself and where you're at and how you're feeling, and then go and educate yourself and use your voice. I felt like Veronica and Dr. Makeba provided amazing, action steps to do, but also wherever you're at, just sit with that for a second, realize what you need to do and how you want to show up for this, and then do it, right? And we also have to give people grace, right? A lot of times we are like, oh, well, why are you saying that? And why this? Well, it begins with giving people grace and listening, right? And I think that's where a lot of our issues start, when we don't listen and we just kind of go find, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, you don't know their experiences.
Exactly.
So I think I wanted to point that out earlier, but I just couldn't with anything. But I just wanted to say it.
You know what? This is great that you're saying that, because it's true. Let's be careful of making also generalized statements, right? Like, let's not say, all white people are racist. All policemen are part of police brutality. All looters are black. Like, let's avoid these general, like, kind of grouping everybody, because the reality is we know that's not the case, right? All Mexicans are racist. All whites are racist. Whatever. All these general statements we are seeing from our personal perspective and our lens, but then there's other people that have grown up. They grow up differently. They've been in a different upbringing. They have a different upbringing. So I appreciate you saying that, Amell. I think that's a very important point.
Yeah, the change is not going to happen unless we listen to each other, and I think that's where we need to work on. But anyway, without further ado, let's get to these tips real quick. So we want, these things have been real heavy, like quarantine now, the magnifying of all this situation in America. So these are the top 10 tips that we think can help you have calmness in your mind and your inner peace. We have like 30 more. So if you want more, just let us know. We got you. Number one is change your shoulds to your must, right? Change your shoulds and must. So in other words, when you are thinking, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that. No, you get to do it, right? And that comes with number 2, adopt a gratitude attitude. There's a lot going on, but be grateful that you woke up today and you're breathing and you have one more day, one more opportunity, and the people that you have that are surrounding you, that love you. And for those that don't have a family or that you're alone, you have friends. We have social media. Use it, Zoom it up, FaceTime it up, whatever you need to do. And number 3, be mindful of yourself. And it goes back to what I just mentioned. Realize how you're feeling. And I think this was a tip from myself that I had to really think about last week. I really wasn't acknowledging that I was upset, and I was, I'm like, there's just a lot going on. I'm more of the, let me think about it. Let me think about this. Let me educate myself. And I broke down last week, right? So be mindful and give yourself grace. Be mindful of how you're feeling. Number 4, be true to yourself. Right. And it's okay to misunderstand something. It's okay. Like Veronica mentioned, she used to say all life matters until she educated herself and she realized, wait, all the Black Lives Matter movement does not take away from everybody else. Right. So it's okay if you change your mind. And I think that's important, because sometimes we feel like, well, how can I just change my mind all of a sudden? Yeah, because you can educate yourself. Number 5, declutter. Even if it's just like your workspace, even your kitchen. Sometimes I can't cook unless it's clean. So declutter whatever you need to declutter. It helps with your mind and how you're feeling. Number 6, deep breathing. Legit breathe. Like, In
Yep.
and out, in and out. And if you need an app, there's an app called Calm or Headspace. I think I use Calm, but Calm is like awesome.
Actually, Amel,
Go
can I
ahead.
throw in one thing? When it comes to the breathing, when you are upset, pay attention to your body and your breathing, because most of the time you're holding your breath. That's where that expression comes, don't hold your breath, right? Like you are holding literally your breath. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I'm already mad. Right? You're not even breathing. Number 7 is worry less, right? I have to throw this in there, but cast your cares onto God. That's my belief. You can, whatever you believe in, do it. And when we say worry less, that doesn't mean turn the other cheek or not worry about everything of, everyone that's being impacted or whatever's happening. It just means focus on the things you can action on, not on the things you can't control. We can't control the virus, right? Like we can control that. So what can you take action on? And number 8, laugh. We have YouTube. We have TikTok now. Oh my God, Jennifer's on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok yet. Laugh. There's so many. Sometimes, little disclosure, sometimes I just go on Google and I either look for like a funny video or something to laugh, because it makes you feel better. Legit.
Disclosure, my TikTok is only for funny purposes. So it's not going to be a serious platform whatsoever. Maybe I'll throw some stuff in there once in a while, but no.
Nothing serious, no. You know what? Maybe I should get out of my comfort zone. I get it, just because I think I'm not too funny, but maybe I am a little funny. I don't know.
I think
number
you're funny.
9 is to slow down. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Number 9 is to slow down. A lot of times we feel like if we're not busy, then you're not doing something. And it's okay to slow down. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to say, all right, what do I need to do, right? What is that saying? You measure twice and then you cut once or something? Kind of similar to that, like relax, plan before you action. You don't always have to go be on the go, because sometimes you don't, get anything done. And number 10, be kind. Right? It doesn't matter what it is. And I live by this golden rule in my life, and that's what I'm teaching my son. It doesn't matter how someone reacts to you. It matters how you respond. So you kill people with kindness all day, every day. Like, if you know me, that's like me. Like sometimes my husband's like, why would you do that? They just did this and this to you. And I'm like, it doesn't matter, because my level, my perspective is different than where they're at, right? So people respond to their perspective, the things they've gone through. And they don't know any better until you show them. So be kind, people. Be kind.
Yes.
Yeah, should I give a quick rewind or?
Yeah, for sure. And can I add one thing? I think that's the be kind right now. And in my membership and in my community, I constantly emphasize right now, everybody is just really high anxiety. One little thing you might say might tick them off, and you didn't even realize that they were a ticking time bomb, right? So understanding, one, that everyone's hurting and they might be going through something that you have no understanding or didn't even realize, and you might say one thing and it came off totally a different way. And just being understanding that, apologize, it is what it is. It's not about you. That's bottom line, right? It's not about you. That's
my job.
But yeah, go for the recap.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just a quick recap, because I know we went over a ton of them, but they're very similar. But in the end, it's really about yourself and getting to know yourself and being kind to yourself and to everybody else. So number 1, change your must and you should to I get to do something. Number 2, adopt a gratitude attitude. Gratitude is going to take you so far in life. 3, be mindful of yourself. 4, be true to yourself, right? What you believe in, what you stand for, what you're going to use your voice for. Number 5, declutter. Declutter whatever it is, your living room, your, whatever area you spend most time at, make sure it's not cluttered. Number 6, deep breathing, like legit breathing. And I always have to say legit breathing because people are like, but I'm already breathing. No. Yes, there you go. Worry less. That was number 7. Number 8, laugh. Number 9, slow down. And number 10, be kind today and always, because the world needs it.
Amen. That is awesome. I love these life hacks, ladies. So, and gentlemen, whoever's watching right now live, we are broadcasting on multiple platforms. We're broadcasting on YouTube and on Facebook, on the business page, on my personal profile, in the Wise Women Support Group. So make sure that, if you want to catch the replay, we'll have the replay up for 24 hours. Then we are going to take it down and we're going to upload it onto YouTube. So if you need to catch it today, because it'll be only on Facebook for today, and then we'll upload it to YouTube. Briefly, some announcements, right? You can always follow us at Women's Self-Development. We have a free group, the Wise Women Support Group. If you enjoy what we're talking about, this show is part of the organization, the Women's Self-Development. It's actually WISE. You might see WISE, where there it is, WISE, the Women's Institute of Self-Development and Efficacy. So this is part of this organization. We wanted to make sure that if you have any questions, feel free to email womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com, as well as we do have an exclusive membership group. So if you love what we're talking about, you want more accountability, you want more coaching outside of just the free group, we do have this, and I'm going to share real briefly. We do have a community that you can take advantage of. Reach out to me. We do have payment plans, or you could pay for the entire year up front. So I just wanted to make sure that I share this with you guys so that you guys can see it.
And did we disconnect?
No, we did not. I just took it off for a
Did
second.
we disconnect? I don't know where Jennifer went.
I just turned off my camera. 1 second. I was talking,
okay.
But either way, just want to.
I was like, did we disconnect?
No. I was playing with the camera. But thank you so much, everyone that's jumping on. I know that we had a great conversation. We want to make sure that you know about all this good stuff. You can find us here, and you can follow us on the Women's Self-Development. And of course, we thank you for all the viewers that have been on for an hour and a half. We appreciate all the comments, all the interaction. There were some really good comments on here. Oh my goodness. Like, I just would love to
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say we will go back and look at those comments. It was a little tough with the technical difficulties, but we will get to them and we will respond to you guys.
Yeah, and we will definitely respond, and I think that we'll highlight the next show. We'll try to highlight some of the comments as we're talking. So bottom line is, be kind. We had great conversation today. We appreciate everyone that was jumping on. And remember, this show is going to be every Monday during the summer at 8 a.m. Right now, our co-host is Amell Feliz. I love her last name. She is very happy.
Right?
And just...
I am.
Stay tuned. Next week we'll have another episode, and if you have any questions, comments, or if you want something specific, you want to talk about something specific, write it right now.
Let us know.
And then we'll generate a conversation around that. But this whole show is about getting your IMC, your inspiration, motivation, and conversation. So thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate
everyone.
you. Yes. Amell, any final words?
I just want to thank you for this platform, for allowing me to be your guest co-host, because this was so cool. And I'm excited for the rest of the month.
Yes.
You'll get to see me.
Yes. God bless you all. Talk to you guys soon.